Okay, so making a medieval fairy tale house. This is my progress, and I must say some parts do get changed. And that's why I'm actually doing the voiceover rather than just showing you all the footage, because it does just get changed. It's better to just go back over and see what I did. But I did start off with the roof, and this doesn't get changed. I decided to do half a roof. This is why all these rectangles are stuck at the back. If you were going to do a whole roof, I would stick them in the middle. Basically what I'm doing is each piece of polystyrene gets about a centimetre shorter in width, I guess, and they just stick on top of each other, and I go ahead with a craft knife and cut them diagonally so they're into this triangle shape. So as you can see, it's starting to look a little bit more like a roof, but I will eventually add tiles to this piece. I also made the front of a house, but this does just get taken off in the end, so that's why I didn't show the whole progress into making that, because it's a bit pointless now. I cut a gap for the door, and I made this window. Now, as I said, it's a fairy tale sort of medieval house, so I wanted it to be a little bit out there, a little bit curvy. It didn't have to be perfect, but then I realised after a while I didn't really like it. On the side wall, I decided to add an extra piece of polystyrene so it would come out more. And a lot of medieval houses you'll see that just randomly just come out. I also cut out a gap for another little door for Minnie to go in or out of the hide. This reminded me of I had a picture, but a little piece that you get sometimes where water runs under the house, but it is actually just going to be another door. So I then went and added some bricks, because a lot of medieval houses, half of it will be like, or just the bottom layer will be bricks, and then the top will be sort of wooden panels. I did buy a mould which was meant for cakes, but I've seen someone use it similarly for grout to make bricks, but they didn't quite define them how I'd like the bricks to be. I then went ahead and saw how this would fit together. As you can see, I've added little windows onto the design as well. There's going to be a gap, so I've decided I'm going to add a chimney in that corner. A lot of them you'll either see popping out of the roof, some go all the way up the side of the houses. It all varies. You should really Google these houses, they're amazing. This is a front, but this does all get changed due to size and just not really liking the design. This is me just showing you how to add on the wooden pieces. I call them wooden, but they are obviously polystyrene, but these will represent the wooden pieces, the framework around the houses. I've gone for quite a simple design, just little squares, but you can do diagonals, Y shapes. There's so much, but this is just me seeing how everything's going to look. The chimney obviously looks wonky because the top fell off, and I had to add a cocktail stick to put it back together and some glue. And yeah, this was just before I cut out a floor plan to see how it would fit in Minnie's tank, and hence why I had to make a few changes. Okay guys, it has been a few days since I last filmed the progress of this house. I've had a terrible cold, so that's why my voice is a bit iffy. Okay, so there has been some obvious changes. Firstly, I did stick down the chimney and I added the bricks. I also added some sort of tiling on the roof. I just pretty much cut out lots of squares of polystyrene and stuck them down. And on the back I added a piece of polystyrene just to stabilise the whole house. Now, the more obvious change to this house is probably the front. This is why this is really just a video diary of my progress rather than a tutorial, because it is really trial and error right now. That I have no plan. There's nowhere else on the internet where I can find a medieval house design for a reptile, so it is really just me going along with this. Okay guys, so I think we finally finished the making the house round. As you can see, I have added little stairs, a border around the door. I've actually cut out this window because it's going to be like, if you just imagine it, the downstairs window, and then these are the upstairs one. I wanted to differentiate from the upstairs and downstairs, so that's why I just did that one. I've also done a border around this. I was tempted to do, you know, like grids and so on that they do, but there was a lot going on, so I wanted to keep that simple. I've also made some changes to the chimney. I put the bottom like the same as the rest of the house, so bricks, and then this is flat, and then the roof comes out so it looks like it's sort of in the middle of the roof. And I just did the top. I just had some polystyrene blocks around the top just to make it look more like a chimney. I've been looking at like loads of pictures, but they're all so different, so it's hard to say for sure. I've also added some more pieces that come out a bit more. And the only thing that's changed here is, well, actually it's two things. This line here and this line here, and I also brought out the roof a bit more there. So the next, sorry, I don't know why that's there. The next stage is to grout it.